Hello there friends, CSGO Live here. In today's video, Perfecto is coming back. FaZe got serious problems. Astralis closed their project, and the results of the first days of Blast. And as always, a bunch of other exciting news from the world of CS2, so without further ado, let's get straight to it. First things first, Astralis are slowly stepping away from the pro scene. More and more signs are pointing to the rumors being true. It looks like Astralis might be leaving the pro scene sometime soon. They've already taken the first steps by shutting down their academy roster. According to their official statement, the move was made to optimize the organization and maintain a healthy business, whatever that means. At the same time, they promised to keep an eye on the young Danish talents and help them unlock their potential. And you know what? Funny how things work out. While one of the world's richest orgs is shutting down their academy to save money, another team that used to struggle financially is now building one. 3D Max just announced that they're putting together a youth squad. The requirements are pretty simple. You need to be under 23, French, and obviously a talented FACEIT grinder. So I guess some of you guys can apply as well. Next, turns out ninjas in pajamas have been dealing with some financial issues too, but in a different way. In 2025, only 3 main rosters in the whole scene earned less prize money than their own women's team or academy team. And the ninjas in pajamas were one of them, as you can see, together with Nouns and Permitta. But at least Ninjas in Pajamas managed to grab a win in Las Vegas and secure a bit of cash, which also helped them climb the ratings. NIP's next shot will be at PGL Astana. Speaking of struggles, we've gotta talk about FaZe Clan. They've been going through some rough times as well, and their captain opened up about it. According to Karrigan, he had asked fans not to flame the team for poor results, at least not before the major. But with the Austin event just around the corner and still no real results, things aren't looking great. Karrigan said he tried to build the perfect lineup, one where he could bring out the best in each player, but turns out that's way harder than it sounds. He also made it clear there won't be any roster changes before the major. The only thing they can change is their mindset, and that's exactly what FaZe Clan will be working on next. Elish backed up Karrigan's words, saying the team really feels the pressure from all the recent losses, even when they were doing everything right. Karrigan also gave a shout out to Ropz'S, saying he's proud of Rob, and especially considering how long they played together. If Vitality wins the major, he says, we might be looking at the start of a new era. Still, Karrigan hopes their success won't last forever, and that someone, maybe even FaZe Clan, will knock them off the throne. Guys, what do you think? Does FaZe Clan still have a shot at the major, or is it time for more changes? Let us know in the comments below. My friends, you know what's strange? Before we move on to the next news, let me tell you about CSGO Fast, as they're turning 10 years. CSGO Fast is the oldest and most trusted website in the history of CS skin games. Feel like Gaben is unfair to you? On CSGO Fast you can open tons of profitable cases and pull that dream skin you've always wanted. They've got a huge variety of games, including intense case battles. You can even invite a friend and win together. Surely you all love raffles. CSGO Fast runs free raffles every 6 hours, giving away skins to random participants. Plus, they regularly host special events. Right now is their 10-year anniversary, just look at the prizes up for grabs. And if you're a true CS veteran, you already know the community has trusted CSGO Fast for years. That's why they have a loyalty system for regular users and a ranking system with extra bonuses. Do I even need to mention skin prices? You already know they're awesome. And if you don't want to deposit, no problem, you can always use the referral system to earn points. Use promo code CSGO News Live to get plus 10% to your deposit and a free case. The link will be in the pinned comment. Even though Karrigan says there will be no changes in FaZe Clan before the major, a lot of analysts and insiders say that something's gonna happen. At least that there's a chance for a solid upgrade, which might be Degster. He just left Falcons, and even in that short time, he proved he's more than ready to compete at the tier 1 level. For example, according to Overdrive, the Eastern European insider, Degster could be a perfect fit, but not just for FaZe Clan, and also for Liquid, because it all comes down to his aggressive playstyle, something that both Shui and Karrigan would know how to work with. Sure, Degster's still got a long way to go before he reaches the level of oppers like MOUZ or S1mple, who also play that hyper-aggressive style, but if he ends up in a team like FaZe or Liquid, he will have a real shot at leveling up. You know, if Karrigan says they don't consider changes before the major, they still can do it after it. And to add to that, don't forget that we've already had rumors that both Degster and Perfecto are about to find new homes soon, so maybe FaZe Clan. And yeah, speaking of Perfecto, as you know from our previous episodes, he's now a free agent, finally. Or should I say he was a free agent because he found a team, even though it's just temporary. Surprisingly, he will be standing in for BC Game at IM Dallas. Funny enough, rumors last year said BC Game had already offered him a spot, but he turned it down. Why say yes now? Well, first of all, he has got no contract, and second, it's a great shot to play on a tier 1 LAN and prove he still got it, just in time for the off-season shuffle. Still, not everyone in the community was happy about the move, because people slammed Perfecto for joining a team they called a sketchy one, and a slightly tipsy S1mple went off, saying Perfecto betrayed him by agreeing to play for some trash team. But honestly, right now all that matters for Perfecto is showing up on server again, to remind everyone that he could still be the best anchor in the world. Now, another team that's making roster moves is FURIA. This time they've picked up a new analyst. Karrigan, who previously worked with Monte, is now joining their squad. According to FURIA, adding another CIS figure should help Molodoi adapt even faster, which means that the team could start showing real results on LAN sooner than expected. Not that the adaptation wasn't already going strong, because Fallen has even started learning Kazakh and Russian as well, so get ready to hear even more fired up comments from FURIA players and their fans. For those who missed it, FURIA has been building an international lineup around Yekinder and Molodoi, and there were even rumors about S1mple joining them at one point. And apparently Fair was also in talks to sign, but that deal ended up falling through. But you know what, guys, not everyone's a fan of recent roster changes in the Brazilian CS. Take Peacemaker, for example, the coach who's worked with teams like Liquid, Imperial and Energy. He called FURIA a complete failure and actually ranked them at the very bottom of his tier list, right next to teams like 500 and 9 Pandas. And surprisingly, FaZe ended up in the same spot. As for the top of the list, he put Vitality, Falcons, MOUZ, Spirit and Navi as the strongest. Slightly lower, he put teams like G2, the Mongols, VP, Liquid and a few others. On the tier 2 scene, he named Navi Jr. as the best, saying that they're playing at the same level or even better than squads like OG, Astralis, Fnatic, Metisport and so on. And in tier 3, he placed Imperial, Energy, Party Vision and Spirit Academy. Of course, it's just his opinion, it doesn't have to be right. And yeah, just to remind you, you can always drop down your tier list in the comments below. And before we get to the matches, there's one unfortunate story we couldn't skip, and it involves S1mple. Late at night the other day, when he was out for a walk with a friend, let's say, some guy approached him on the street and suddenly grabbed his arm. S1mple pushed the guy away, but by the time he realized what happened, his watch was already gone. According to S1mple, it was one of his favorite things, and now he's furious. It all happened in Barcelona, and S1mple recently has been spending a lot of time in there, chilling, relaxing, going to the gym suddenly, and playing CS2 as well. I guess he's just living the best life. And now let's wrap things up by talking about the opening matches of Blast Rivals, the tournament that's supposed to be top-notch. Day 1 started with a matchup between Team Spirit and FlyQuest, and just the day before, Magixx gave a pretty interesting interview to HLTV. He pointed out that Donk is already playing at the level of Zaivu, but in the future, Kioski might actually surpass both of them. He also said that Vitality right now remind him of Navi in their prime. Every team wants to beat them, and each match gets harder and harder, but they're still very strong. The main difference is that Vitality rely more on raw firepower, while 2021 Navi were all about tactics. Magixx also opened up about his own performances. He knows that when he starts fragging out, Spirit's chances of winning go way up. But sometimes, after reviewing his own demos, he overthinks, which can make his momentum fade. As for the match itself, Mirage was an absolute stomp. Spirit rolled over FlyQuest with ease, taking the map 13-2 without even breaking a sweat. Although this second map was a bit more contested, the Aussies came out swinging and even had the lead at one point. But then Magixx showed up and completely locked things down on defense. He dropped 24 frags on the second map, finishing with a 1.63 rating. Next up was MOUZ versus Pain, and things got a little wild. This matchup had a pretty interesting twist. Big Uzera recently had surgery on his ears. Yeah, turns out he had a severe ear infection and literally couldn't hear anything before that. We sincerely hope it worked. Yeah, Pain lost the first map, but then they kinda managed to take map 2 off MOUZ, which was MOUZ's pick. But Brolin and the gang were kinda offended by that. They came into the decider with a vengeance and absolutely wiped the floor. They won 13-0 without giving Pain a single round. Third match of the day was Vitality versus Wildcard, and this one was all about MOUZ. He clearly showed up with MVP energy. Just look at his performance on Inferno. During a force buy, he picked up a TAC 9 and dropped a clean ace, which flipped the round in Vitality's favor.
The FaZe is smoke at the perfect time.
Okay, second for MOUZ. There's a couple more players approaching. Oh, it's a quad! MOUZ on for the ace! Vitality, take it!
That play boosted their economy and control of the map. Wildcard tried to fight back, but it wasn't enough. On Dust 2, things started off even more one-sided. Vitality kicked off the half with 7 rounds in a row, and by the halftime it was 9-3. From there, they had no trouble closing it out. Just 4 more rounds and it was done. Top of the scoreboard were MOUZ and Apex. Wow! The Brit had 1.67 rating and the Frenchman had 1.36. A rare thing you see from him. And once again, the most exciting match of the day featured Falcons. Before the game, the players shared more thoughts on the addition of m0NESY. According to NiKo, the team has still a lot of work to do when it comes to coordination. But the good news is that m0NESY is super talented and picking things up fast. Kixon also praised the new addition, saying m0NESY has already brought a lot into the team, sometimes even making mid-round calls. Still, Kixon remains the main voice in the team, and if he doesn't agree with the call from Ilya, he's got the final say. Also, Tassus added a little bit of insight on what the team did after the tough loss in the IM Melbourne finals. He said the first 5 hours were rough, but after a bit of beer and a lot of round reviewing, they ended up bonding and learning from it. Quick reminder, alcohol is bad, so we don't recommend it. Now onto the match itself. It all started on Dust 2, Falcons' map pick. Things were neck and neck, both teams trading force buys and staying close throughout the half. The score ended 7-5 in favor of Falcons, but it was still very tight. Although, after the side switch, FaZe only managed to grab the pistol round, and that was it. Next up was Ancient, FaZe's pick. Falcons here started off strong, completely dominating, but that didn't last long. Once FaZe got rifles, they came alive and strung together 5 rounds in a row. They were about to take even more, but NiKo stepped up and shot down a 1v4 clutch attempt by Brokey, defusing in the final seconds. It brought the score in the first half to 6-6. After the break, it was all about NiKo again. He got 4 frags, but that only helped Falcons grab 2 rounds. FaZe answered back with 4 of their own. At one point, the score was 10-9 for FaZe, but next came the round that basically decided everything. Tassus and m0NESY are left in a 2v5. Let's watch.
Structure's coming apart a little bit, right, for Falcons.
Ooh, but that makes up for it. Still, the CTs now in spawn would have otherwise been smoked off, so we have to remember that error that TSS has made. The fact he reignites the possibility, though, we'll see if it all pans out. You've got m0NESY full health. You've got a much removed Rain at the moment. Brokey on this line already. Oh, m0NESY! Oh! Double kill as Karrigan goes jumping back into the crosshair. Tess has 2 critical kills to open this, but the third ties the game.
Wow, what an amazing play! It sealed the deal for Falcons. So after day 1, the teams on the edge of elimination are FaZe, Pain, Wildcard and FlyQuest. But it's blast, and we've got a lot more matches to watch. That's all for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, follow the channel and drop by in the comments below. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.